welcome to tonight's discussion. I've been going live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, just to inspire you to really embrace motherhood with that vision that you always thought motherhood would be, right? Like just having joy and pleasure and all those little things that motherhood brings. We want to live life to the fullest, right? And I'm here to inspire you to do just that. So tonight specifically, we are going to discover how to conquer that self-doubt, that guilt, those negative thoughts, really, and understanding how those thoughts are contributing to our brain chemistry and really learn what it's going to take to embrace a positive motherhood journey. So if you're catching yourself thinking that you're not worthy or you're not enough, like, I got you, mama. Or you're feeling like your house, your parenting, your life, anything like just isn't up to par. It doesn't compare to all the other things you see, especially on social media, how perfect, right? But all of those thoughts, all those negative thoughts are really a sneaky little trap that are keeping you stuck exactly where you're at and instead of moving you forward. So you have to make a conscious effort to escape those thoughts if you truly want to move forward. So I'm Lindsay Marie, and after 6 years of navigating the exhaustion, the overwhelm, really the irritability, monster mom that I was, and which often comes with motherhood, I actually discovered about 8 years ago a natural and sustainable way to overcome all of those things. And so now I'm a mental health nutrition coach, and I'm on a mission to help mamas specifically shift from that barely surviving energy to truly thriving in life by rebuilding your brain's natural feel-good system. So let's kick off our conversation today. Remember, anyone who participates tonight, this isn't a drawing tonight. Anybody who participates at all tonight is going to receive a free copy of my Palace Path journal, which I designed specifically for moms to transform the way that you think so that you can really live up to your full potential. And it's really a nice recap of what we're talking about tonight. So you're going to get it for free just for participating in the discussion because it makes it more enjoyable for everyone. Plus, there's, way more than what I'm going to teach you tonight in that journal. So let's kick off the conversation. When was the last time you caught yourself in a cycle of self-doubt or guilt about your parenting, your lifestyle choices, and how did it make you feel being all guilty? And then what did you do to try and break free from that guilt, if anything? Chrissy says 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm sorry, love. And woohoo, yes, you are going to get, I'm assuming that's in response to the Palace Path journal, which yes, you're gonna get. So you tried a bath. Hey, you tried something. Give yourself some grace, mama. You tried something. You didn't just sit in your like you sat in the bath. So awesome job. So first and foremost, I'm here to tell you that your thoughts actually matter. Your thoughts actually make a difference in how you're feeling. They're either keeping you stuck or they're moving you forward. So you have two sides of your brain that you get to choose to live in. And you cannot be in both sides of your brain. You're in one side or you're in the other. You're either in your dungeon brain, which is literally just trying to keep you alive. It doesn't care about thriving. It's just like, oh, that kept you alive before, it'll keep you alive again. So that's what you need to keep doing. For example, like smoking a cigarette. Like, smoking a cigarette made me feel good yesterday, and I'm still alive, so I'm gonna smoke a cigarette today. Like, that's just how the dungeon brain works. Or you're in your palace brain, which is the other option, where you can make a actual like sensible analysis about what's going on with the situation and think about where you want to be and actually move forward. And you can create win-win situations in that side of your brain. You can honestly just achieve your dreams when you're in that side of the brain. Because when you're in the dungeon side of your brain, it's like finding all the evidence to keep you stuck there. And when you're living in the palace side of your brain, you're trying to forge a path to your dreams. You cannot be on both. You can't be trying to forge this path to where you want to be while at the same time being stuck where you're at. It doesn't work. So you're always in one side or the other. So the good news is is that you get to choose which side you're going to live in. No one can force you into one side or the other. Only you can choose where you're going to be. So the circumstances in your life aren't forcing you to be in one side or another. You're actually choosing, and only you can choose. Nobody else can choose for you. This is something you have to do on your own. When you're in the dungeon brain too, it won't matter what you do to try to feel better. Your body is constantly releasing stress chemicals. That's just what's happening. Your fight or flight chemicals are just surging like crazy because it's trying to survive. That's what's happening on that side of your brain. So that's what your brain interprets. That's what your body interprets. And so it releases these stress chemicals because that's the state of mind that you're in, right? So when you're in the palace side of your brain, you give your brain permission to release the feel-good chemicals that you're craving, that your goals like are relying on, right? Like, so your body is given permission. You kind of come out of that fight or flight and that stress side of your brain, and now you're able to release the feel-good chemicals. But you can't be in both sides, remember? So in order to get those feel-good chemicals to release, you gotta shift your mind over. And we'll talk about some techniques to do that in a minute. So I'm checking out the comments quick. Chrissy says, I definitely feel like I'm keeping myself stuck. And then I feel like I have no choice. It's a wild brain. My symptoms are so real. Yes. That's the thing, is that your dungeon brain isn't wrong, okay? But your dungeon brain is keeping you where you're at, okay? So we're actually going to talk about that in a minute and just acknowledging that dungeon brain for a second in order to release it. So can anyone remember a moment when you consciously chose to shift from a dungeon brain mindset focused on the survival and the stress and really fear to a palace brain mindset where you aimed for growth and positivity? Like, and how did it turn out? How did it turn out when you like just chose, no matter how hard it felt that you chose, you're going to go the other way? Another way of thinking of this is remembering a time when fear was causing you not to take action, okay? When was a time that fear was causing you not to take action? That's your dungeon brain being in control. That's you're in that side of your brain. So fear was keeping you stuck, and then you decided you were going to go for it anyways. Like, I don't care, doesn't matter, I'm going to go for it anyways, and we're going to see how it turns out. Remember, anyone who participates tonight is going to get a free copy of that Palace Path Journal, which I designed to help moms transform their thoughts and live their full potential. And it's going to have all the things that we're talking about tonight, plus a whole bunch more to help you get out of this cycle. Chrissy can't even think of a time. And you said that's awful. It's not awful. It's not awful. You're recognizing it. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay? So I want to give you a tangible technique to take away from tonight's discussion. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on what I call the let it go technique. So this technique is based on the notion that what you resist persists. Okay? If you're resisting it, it's going to keep knocking on your door because you're resisting it. So kind of think of your dungeon brain like a toddler in your head. And when that toddler wants something and you're not responding, that toddler just gets louder and more persistent until you respond to the toddler in your head, right? So if you just keep ignoring them, they're going to get more and more persistent. That's the same thing that's going on in your dungeon brain when you're resisting what it's trying to tell you is keeping you safe. So you have to acknowledge sometimes your dungeon brain and assure it that everything's actually going to be okay. Like, I know that we did this before in order to survive, but it's going to be okay. And acknowledging that it's really just trying to protect you, right? But it's not moving you forward. So we have to like let it go, right? So let it go technique. Claire says, switching supervising departments when it wouldn't have been my first choice. So I think she's talking about when she had to shift from the dungeon to the palace brain and what to do. So yes, you didn't have a choice to switch. That was a directive, must have been from your supervisor. So you could have been stuck in your dungeon brain. You could have got up and left. You could have done a lot of negative things. But you chose to make the most of it, is what it sounds like. So, all right, so back to the let it go technique. So, it's really just a way of accepting that the negative thoughts are trying to protect you and then freeing yourself from those thoughts in order to move forward. So, we're going to practice, and I've been going since like 6 o'clock this morning, and I'm sure you have as well. Been under stress since 6 o'clock this morning, or sooner, probably sooner. So let's just first take a minute to breathe. So if you're watching the replay, just pause the video, and I'm just going to take a second, and I'm just going to like calm my mind a little bit so that I can hear any negativity even that might be in my brain. But just relaxing, and that alone can make a huge difference in our ability to release the negativity and get us out of the fight or flight, is just by taking a moment to breathe. So let's just do that. Just quiet. So now, can you identify and share any negative feeling that frequently surfaces in your life? So you can think that to yourself. You can share it in the comments. When we share in the comments, we're helping other moms feel less isolated, and I guarantee you that this group that I'm going live in is full of moms that feel exactly like you're feeling right now, or have at least been able to relate to the way that you're feeling right now. So if you're comfortable sharing in the comments what those negative thoughts might be, go ahead. Chrissy says her negative thought is that I will be controlled by medicine forever and my throat isn't going to heal. So I should have been more prepared for this, but it doesn't matter. We'll find something. So that's a thought that Chrissy is having. So let's practice right now. You can replay this part later if you're watching live, and of course you can pause this if you're watching the replay. But just take a moment to really feel that negative feeling, because it's real. So there's truth in what that negative feeling is. And if you're not struggling with the medicine or healing, but maybe you're struggling with guilt, like even myself, like I am constantly exercising, letting go of the negative thoughts around guilt. I'm a very busy mom, and a lot of times when I leave my family to go work on something, there's this instant, like you should be staying home. You should stop doing whatever you're doing. You should be with your family. And I have to always exercise letting that go. So take a moment to feel it and just acknowledge it and let it be present without trying to push it away. Don't try to push it away. Just let it be the thought that it is. It's trying to protect you. It's only telling you what it knows, what it sees, the evidence that it sees to keep you alive. And once you've allowed yourself to fully feel it, like really feel it, say something like, or repeat after me and say exactly what I'm saying. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I no longer need this feeling. I'm now choosing to focus on positive ways to move forward. So I'll say it one more time for the people watching live. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I no longer need this feeling. I'm now choosing to focus on positive ways to move forward. Say that to yourself, because that's true. You are. You're here. You don't need this feeling. This feeling isn't serving you. And you're choosing something different because you're here. You're choosing to focus on positive ways to move forward. Everything about that is true if you are watching or listening to this, okay? Thank you for trying to protect me, but I no longer need this feeling. I am now choosing to focus on positive ways to move forward. That's what you're telling yourself. So the next one, I'm going to share one more, helps us to remember that feelings do not hold us. We hold on to our feelings, okay? I'm going to grab something. This is where I said I wasn't quite prepared. Even just like a pencil works, or maybe you want to grab like your, or maybe you want to grab your, like a stuffed animal, like one of your kids' little stuffed animals or something. But I'll use this nice broken pencil, you know, whatever. Don't hurt yourself. I'll make sure I don't grab the broken end of the pencil. But the next, so we're gonna take this thing that you just grabbed, take a pen, and hold it tightly wherever you feel the negative emotion. So where are you feeling the negative emotion? Are you feeling that in your chest? Like, does that feel like where that feeling is like sitting? Do you feel it in, I don't know, your stomach? You know, is your stomach churning, sore? Just any place where you feel like that negative emotion is just living in your body. Maybe it's literally in your head. Maybe it's in your Chrissy's throat. My throat isn't going to heal, is what she said. So maybe that negative feeling is in her throat, right? So take that pen and hold it tightly wherever that is, and squeeze that pen tightly and match the intensity of that negative emotion. Just like feel the level of being controlled by medicine forever, not being able to heal. Feel that negative energy and just grab that pen as tight as you can and just like, I'm here with that negative emotion. I'm here with it right now. I feel it. I got you. Okay? And then stretch out your arm once you feel like you like have that, right? Like, I have this, I got you, okay? But like, we're gonna let it go. So we're gonna stretch out our arm with the palm facing down, whatever you're holding, and you're gonna release. You're gonna let go of that negativity. You're just gonna let go of it. Okay, just let go of it. And there's a couple more. There's a couple more strategies you can use, whether you need that like physical, like I need this physical thing, or like we talk to ourselves in the first strategy. There's a couple more in the Palace Path Journal, which everybody who's participating tonight is going to get a copy of. There's two more where it's a little more, I'll say, intimate strategies, like really just like sitting with that feeling, inviting it in, really letting it know that you love that feeling, but it's not serving you anymore. So those will be on page 7 of the Palace Path Journal, which I'm going to give away again to everyone who's participating tonight in this live discussion. So after practicing this technique, acknowledging the feeling, thanking the feeling, and really consciously or attempting to consciously release it, like how does that process make you feel? What are you thinking? Do you notice a shift at all in your emotional state or a sense of relief? Just share your experiences again in the comments. It's inspiring. It's helpful to hear other people navigating on this same journey to get away from these negative thoughts. And I understand if you didn't feel much in this very short amount of time, but again, you can come back, you can replay this. And when it's not on my Facebook page anymore, it will be on my website. And just share in the comments how it made you feel. So whether that's now or later, doesn't matter. If you're finding it really difficult to shift out of your dungeon brain, it might be because your brain chemistry needs some additional support. So you have 4 feel-good systems in your body that are designed to help you like flip a switch and actually like be positive and energetic and be able to tolerate stress and find pleasure in the little things. And these things are supposed to come naturally. All these feelings are like what God gave us to enjoy being human, right? And they're supposed to come naturally. And when they do, that means your feel-good engines are like really humming. But when any of these things require more willpower than you'd like to admit, that means that these natural feel-good engines probably need some fuel. So if you're curious about this being a roadblock for you, these feel-good engines, you can take some time to complete the mood checkup. So that's going to tell you what engines are running low and why it might be really hard for you to be thinking positively. Because specifically your happy engine, serotonin, is supposed to be that switch that flips that ease of positivity on. And if you don't have fuel, then it's going to be hard. So it's going to give you ideas on how to boost each one of those feel-good engines. It's just an empowering tool and some empowering information to help you give yourself some grace on the way that you might be feeling. So I don't know if there's anyone here who's taken the mood checkup. If you have and you've looked at your results, then please share with other mamas how understanding your feel-good engines really change your perspective on your mood and why you might not be able to maintain positivity very well or cope with stress very well. Just what kind of insights it gave you. Fueling these engines is what my signature program, Feeling Good in Motherhood, is all about. We use nutrition, we use supplements to quickly build these engines back up so that we can get to feeling better fast and then make all of those lifestyle changes that we really want to make, because it will be easier when those feel-good engines are firing, including the positive thinking being one of the things about lifestyle that can be easier when those feel-good engines are firing. So please go ahead and ask me any questions that you have. Everybody who participates tonight, again, is going to get a free copy of the Palace Path, which is going to give you all the details that we just talked about with the Let It Go technique, with a couple other scenarios for you to try out, and also with like 3 other techniques and journal prompts to help you start shifting your way of thinking and being more positive. So let me know, what are some challenges that you just face, like in general, in maintaining positive thoughts as a mother? A couple people have shared since I paused last. Oh, Michelle has shared. Motherhood has been pretty good with a 2.5-year-old and an 8-month-old, and number 3 on the way. But pregnancy's been really rough. I'm just so exhausted and tired, but I keep moving. But when the kids nap, I take a nap. Yes. So exhausted, tired, it's a real thing, right? And you do have to keep moving as a mom, and it's great that you're taking a nap. So I see your palace brain working when you decide to take a nap, actually, and not just go. That's grace, mama. And when you're so exhausted and tired and you keep moving and you're pregnant, just sometimes you got to nap and sometimes you got to keep moving. So way to go, mama. A quick recap of what we talked about tonight. So your thoughts, they actually make a difference in how you feel. Okay, it's not just like woo-woo. The thoughts actually control your brain chemistry in a very large way, and only you can choose to be positive or negative. So you can choose to be in that dungeon brain where your body's going to release all the stress chemicals, or you can choose to be in the palace brain where your body is going to be able to release those feel-good chemicals. I also taught you the Let It Go technique, where you acknowledge your dungeon brain and all of its negative thoughts, and then you assure it everything's going to be okay. You're going to let it go, okay? And sometimes all the techniques in the world are just too hard because our feel-good engines are not firing like they're supposed to be. So being positive, having energy, tolerating stress, finding pleasure in the little things in life, those things should all just turn on with a switch when your feel-good engines are firing. I know it's hard to believe, but that's how we were designed. And when they're not just flipping on when we need them, feeling good requires loads of willpower or just does not feel good. So you can take the mood checkup to find out which of these engines might need a boost, and also we'll show you some little tips of what you can do about it. So Chrissy says, or face it till you ace it. Yes. So, oh wait, she said something else. So you use fake it till you make it, because I don't believe anything positive right now. Yes, actually, you do fake it till you make it. The pathways in your brain are very strong and they are very much on the dungeon side. And it's not going to feel natural to think positively. So you get to just come up with what do you want, right? And repeat that to yourself, even if it feels forced, even if it feels impossible, because it starts giving you like little tiny exercises for your palace brain to have even a moment to find evidence of the opportunities for you to move forward. Okay, so it's not going to be natural. It's not going to feel easy when the dungeon brain is when you're so enrolled in the dungeon brain, and then on top of not having supported feel-good engines like your serotonin. What I'm talking about is your serotonin, your endorphins, your GABA, and your dopamine are all very important systems that need to be firing in your body in order to make this easier. So when you've been on the dungeon side of your brain for a long time, plus those engines are not firing like they should, it can really feel hard to get to the other side. So you do just have to keep forcing it. It's true. Saying positive things about myself right now feels physically painful. Yeah. Yeah. So I love that you took a bath. I think that helps. And man, yeah, saying positive things about myself right now feels physically painful. So I'm thinking right now about even the exercise that we did, where you're just like acknowledging the pain. Um, like think of that as like I just try to have a positive thought, and like I am physically in pain because I have this positive thought. What would it look like to just acknowledge that physical pain as your dungeon brain is having a hard time letting go, right? Like you're moving out. Like imagine right now you've like not just pitched a tent, like you've bought property and built a house on the dungeon side of your brain. And it's really comfortable with you, you're really comfortable with it, and you're trying to move out. And that physical pain could be your body resisting you moving out. And so be gentle with it, right? Don't expect that you're just going to like rip off the Band-Aid and just move out, because that's not going to happen either, but be gentle with it. My throat just feels so tight. Yes, I do know. We have chatted. I know. So yeah, you get your relaxation engine humming and it should help with that. So thanks so much, everybody. I don't see any other comments here. So the people that participated tonight, watch your Facebook messages and I'll send you that Palace Path Journal. I'm here every Thursday night at 8:30 Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. I won't be here Thursday night because of the holiday, but stay tuned to the group and I'll share sometime over the weekend when I'm going to go live next. It might just be a different night of the week. I might skip the week. I'm not sure yet. But please invite your mom friends to the group and to these events. And never, ever, 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 ever forget from the bottom of my heart, and God wants you to know that you are meant to feel good in motherhood. All right? I love you, mamas. Bye-bye.